The guidance in this video may enable you to achieve all of your goals. Let's explore the teachings of American motivational speaker and Hay House founder, Louise Hay. She has written numerous New Thought self-help books, including You Can Heal Your Life in 1984. What are the messages you wish to hear from your friends and family members? Close your eyes and have a conversation with your child as you sit quietly. For a child who hasn't heard from you in 62 years, it may take a few attempts before he believes you still care about him. Be tenacious in your efforts. I'd like to speak with you. When I get the chance to see you, I want to fall in love with you too. And you'll be able to connect at some point. Your inner child may be visible, palpable, or audible. The first thing you may say to your child when you meet is an apology. Ask forgiveness if you haven't spoken to it in years, or if you've been criticizing it for so long. Describe how missing each other is making you feel guilty. Inquire as to how you make it happy. Find out what frightens the youngster by talking to it. Find out how you can help and what it expects from you before you start. You'll obtain an answer if you start with simple inquiries. Can you think of anything I could do to make you happier? Do you want anything special? Telling the child things like, I'm leaving for work, is one option. Are you looking for a new job? They may respond by saying they're going to the beach, but the conversation has already begun. Visualize them enjoying a good time at the beach. Maintain a level of consistency throughout your work. Just a few minutes each day can help you get to know your inner child. Getting in touch with your inner kid will be an important part of your life. It's possible that some of you are already working on your inner child work. Self-Parenting by John Polar, the third of which is superb, is the focus of numerous publications and workshops. I love the exercises and activities in it because they help me reconnect with my inner kid. This book is a must-read for everyone who is serious about working with their inner child. As previously mentioned, there's a great deal of assistance available in this area. Your situation isn't hopeless, so don't be afraid to call out for help from others. Consider looking at an old photo of yourself, preferably one from when you were a child. No, I don't see a miserable child. What do you think? Make a connection with whatever you observe. Whenever you observe a child who appears to be afraid, inquire as to why it is afraid, and then take action to help it feel better. Find a few pictures of yourself as a child and begin conversing with the child in each one. You can also help your youngster by talking to him or her in the mirror. As a child, you may have been known by a nickname, so use it. A box of Kleenex is a good idea. Sit down in front of a mirror, since you'll flee out the door as soon as things get rough if you're standing. Take a seat, get a box of tissues, and get used to talking instead. You can also try writing a letter to a friend or family member. Using 2 distinct colored pens or felt markers with 1 colored pen in your dominant hand will yield a plethora of information. Use the non-dominant hand's other colored pen to jot down a query. Let your youngster write down the answer. Mystifying, to say the least. When you write the question, the grown-up thinks it knows the answer. Nevertheless, when you write with an uncomfortable hand, you typically get a different answer than you intended. As a child, many of you probably adored creating pictures with crayons and markers until you were sternly instructed to be neat and stay inside the lines. So get back to drawing. Use your non-dominant hand. Create a picture depicting a recent occurrence. Keep an eye on your emotions as well. Draw with your child's non-dominant hand and watch what it comes up with. In small core groups or support groups, you can work on these ideas together to help each other succeed. All of you are welcome to participate. Allow your inner child to express themselves by drawing pictures, and then have a discussion about the meanings behind the images. You may be surprised at how much you learn from the data you receive. Play with your youngster and engage in activities that he or she enjoys. What were your favorite childhood pastimes? And how long have you been doing this? Too frequently, the parent in us prevents us from having fun because it's not the right thing to do as a responsible adult. Allow yourself to enjoy yourself through playing. Try doing the silly activities you used to do as a youngster, such as dashing through the hose spray and leaping in mounds of leaves to bring back memories of the games you played. Bring more joy and playfulness into your life by connecting with your inner child and acting on impulse. It's my promise that you'll begin to enjoy yourself more. Is it true that you were accepted as a kid? Do you think it was a good thing that you were born? Do you think they were enthralled by your sexuality? Or was it the other way around? As a child, did you have a sense of belonging? When you came, was there a celebration? Regardless of the responses, please accept your child at this time. Prepare for a party. Tell it all the nice things you would tell a baby who had just been welcomed into your family. When you were a kid, what was one thing you always wished your parents would tell you? What did you want to know that they never told you? Okay, now you can tell your child exactly what I said. When you look in the mirror every day for a month, tell your child the same thing you tell yourself. In the event that you were raised by alcoholics or abusers, you might use meditation to reimagine your parents as sober, loving individuals. Give in to your child's desires. Most likely, it's been malnourished for an excessively lengthy period of time. Start picturing the kind of life you want for this child. As long as they are happy, they are more likely to put their trust in you. When you're stumped, ask for help so that you can have faith in me. Yes? You'll be surprised by some of the responses. If your parents aren't in love with everything, in addition, you're unable to conjure up an image in your mind of what a devoted father or mother would look like. Create new photographs by arranging the images of your loving parents around a picture of yourself as a child. If you have to, rewrite your early years. In the child, the beliefs you learned when you were a baby are still present. Because of your strict parenting styles, as well as your tendency to erect barriers, your child is likely to be adhering to your parents' rigid ideals and behaviors. It must be terrifying for your inner kid to wake up in the morning if you keep blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. Do you have any complaints for me today? It was their consciousness that harmed us in the past. We've officially become parents. We're utilizing our minds. Your self-righteousness is suffocating the tiny one, and you must do something to free yourself from the self-righteous resentment. Anytime this happens, it's a sign that there's still someone to be kind to. Which brings us to our next question. What haven't you forgiven yourself for? What must you let go of? Let it go, whatever it is. If we don't praise and pay attention to the youngster right now, it's not our parents' fault. They were doing what they believed to be right at the time and place in which they found themselves at the moment. In the present, though, we are aware of how to feed the child that lives within of us. As a pet owner, you know what it's like to walk in the door and be greeted by your pet. What you wear doesn't matter. How old you are doesn't really matter here. How much money you made today, or if you have wrinkles. The animal is just interested in the fact that you are present. It's devoted to your every want. Put yourself in that position. Rejoice in the fact that you have been given the gift of life.